Hi, I'm Kristin Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Are You a Charlotte? Today, we have a really special episode. It is a Catching Up with Friends episode, and we're talking to the incredible Dan Futterman, who was in the episode Evolution, which is season 2, episode 11. It's a fantastic episode where he plays my would-be boyfriend, Stephan, who is very in touch with his feminine side, shall we say. So the thing that I want to say about Danny, he is so brilliant as a person and an actor, but also he went on after our show to be nominated for an Oscar for writing Capote, which is an incredible film. If you haven't seen it, so good. And he's created shows and he's a showrunner and a writer now. So this is a really fun conversation. Please enjoy listening. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It's great to see you.
Are you good? It's so great to see you. And you look just the same.
Oh, yeah, we look just the same. That's right.
Let's just go with that.
We look great, but we don't look the same.
Okay, fair enough. To me, you look the same because I literally just watched the episode, right? Which is so crazy.
I just watched it too, but I didn't had the separate thought. I was like, I am so young. Like, who would kiss
really
that child?
Oh, well, I think I was equally young looking, right? Like, but also it is kind of like, to me, I feel the same, inside. So like I have that very weird dichotomy of like, I look so young, but I remember it like it was yesterday in a way,
Yeah, I remember a lot of it. I don't remember all of it.
No, I didn't remember all of what's on camera, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like you have kind of like a filter in your memory of like the good parts for like as an actor or whatever. Right?
Yep.
First of all, let me back up. I know you're working. That's the other thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm working, as a writer, like trying to get stuff going,
Yeah. I'm so impressed.
That makes, well, thanks. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm just deeply disappointed.
Well, I mean, that's our business, isn't it? Right? Like it's always going to be one with the other. There's never just glory, right?
That's right. And look, I should say at the top of this, I'm sorry. I don't know how you feel about the fact that you guys aren't continuing.
Oh, very upset. I'm very upset. I'm very upset and confused. And thank you for saying you're sorry, because, we've all been through so many different things, right, in our careers. And you've been nominated for an Oscar, like since you were on Sex and the City, which was really kind of like somewhat early in your career, though I remember at the time that I thought, you'd been on Broadway with Cynthia and Angels in America. And, you were a big deal to us at the time. And then you became an even greater deal in terms of your multifaceted career.
Okay. All right. You got to rewind a second. They made me audition for this. So and I was getting some offers for stuff, not a lot, but I was like, I'm going to go out to Queens to audition for like a 1 episode thing. Seriously? But I was going to do it.
Shame on them. Well, I'm glad you did it. Thank God. I mean, look, auditioning, I think, is always much a nightmare. I'm not good at it at all. But I have enjoyed, because we all remember our first trip to Queens as well, and being like, where are we? What is happening? What is the show? And whenever I talk to people and they tell me their funny audition stories about how either they refused to go and they missed out on one role and then they come back or whatever it is, and then they had to get out there and they were like, wow. It's a very enjoyable part of it all for me, because I remember that all so vividly too. But it's funny because I know that at that point, I feel like one of the things we were trying to do that Cynthia was really a big part of was trying to get great theater actors, because we had access, to all the great theater actors. And here we are in Manhattan. There was Law and Order and there was us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it was like, it was one of those godsends. There were not that many shows, right, that were shooting in New York. And I don't know how many times I auditioned for Law and Order and I never got on Law and Order. Like, I cried, I got angry, my child was kidnapped, like whatever it was.
Oh my God.
I was a stalker, whatever it was. And I never got on that show.
That's
like
crazy.
One New York actor who's never been on that show.
Oh my God. Me neither. But I'm not totally a New York actor.
Well, you were busy.
Neither. I was in fact busy. Yes, it's true. Go ahead. So when you went out to see our guys, did you have to go more than once?
No, I went out once, and it was basically like, I mean, everybody was very nice. It was what I remember was, I think Cindy Shupak was there, probably Pam Thomas, who directed the episode, and I think maybe Jenny Bex, but I'm not sure.
Well, those are all the people that we collectively were crushing on you, so that makes sense. But I just had Cindy on, and she was like, "Oh, Futterman," and I was like, "Futterman!" Like we just had a whole moment.
Yeah. Okay. But it was like a semi-humiliating audition where they basically like get up on a chair and be scared.
No.
Like that was what I did.
Wow. Yes, you certainly did. Did. I mean, I love so many things about your part and that episode. And we did discuss with Cindy, like what holds up, what doesn't hold up. Do you remember at the time everyone was saying the word metrosexual as though it was like a thing, and now it's gone.
I think that's okay. Like, what's wrong with that?
Totally. I don't know. I mean, that was what Cindy and I were talking about too. Like what? Because there were things I remembered about it, and then there were things I didn't. Right, of course, which is always true. And at the end, I love the voiceover. I mean, we'll refresh our viewers' memory, or our listeners, whichever we want to call them. Danny is in Evolution, which is in season 2 towards the end. And the thing that I remember it most for, other than the fact that you were amazing, and I was so excited to have you, was that this is really literally Charlotte's first kind of positive type sex scene.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd had these other sex scenes where it's kind of like a joke or something's going horribly wrong, right? And I'm in the scene just trying to get out of the scene as an actor. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm mortified and or uncomfortable, as is Charlotte, right? And you remember, because Pam came from commercials, that I don't know how much you were part of this because we didn't have the intimacy coordinators, but she had a whole plan for how to film the scene. And she and I talked at length about it. And she was going to, she had the track above us, I think, and it was very cool and beautiful. And this is the first time Charlotte's ever had a beautiful sex scene that she's enjoying.
And yet it wasn't enough.
I know, which I'm really sorry about. But I do love the final. I mean, this is like somewhat the stupidity of Charlotte, right? And I really shouldn't say stupidity of Charlotte because that will be the clickbait of this talk. But, she had some weird... Her vision was, extremely elevated at this point in time, right? And you had to check so many boxes. I mean, it was elaborate, which I do think is something that women and probably men can relate to, right? But I do love the final voiceover, which I had forgotten about, which says, Charlotte realized that she was not in touch with her male side enough to be involved with someone who was so in touch with their female side, something to that effect, which I thought was pretty clever and accurate. Charlotte is not particularly evolved in terms of her masculine side, right?
Yeah. So, all right. This is very deeply personal, but I'm going to disclose it. So,
can't wait.
This scene on the bed before Stephan and Charlotte have sex, and you sit up and you're like, are you gay? So early in my relationship, and I had just started dating Anya, my wife, I cannot tell you how many times she said that to me. And she said exactly, and she said, if you are gay, just tell me now. Oh my God. Because we're like falling in love. And this continued once we got married. Like
unbelievable.
And part of it was, not part of it, but like a lot of it was, I'd been in Angels in America.
Right.
I've been on this show.
Right.
That winter, Anya and I went to Sundance where I was in a movie called Urbania.
Oh, yeah.
I played a gay man who's like searching for the guy who killed his lover,
Right.
Some time after that, I did like a 4-episode thing on Will and Grace called Fact-Man, where like Will and Jack are teaching Jack's cousin, I think it was, how to be properly gay.
Wow.
So like she, there was and I think that the last thing was I had this quilt that like at some I was like, I need a blanket for my bed. Like, so I'm walking through the street fair and I'm like, this is, this is a nice blanket. I'll just buy this blanket. And it was like, let's just say it had some pink in it.
This is so good.
Yeah, it was like the first place where, we were
Of
together,
course.
whatever. And at some point she was just like, why are you gay? Why do you got this blanket?
I love it. First of all, I didn't realize that you played that many characters, and that is so fascinating. And what do you think about it now when you look back on it, being a straight actor playing those characters?
Well, like I probably wouldn't have gotten to, if it was now, I might not have gotten to play all those roles. And so I don't know. I don't know if they totally believe that. I see plays all the time where I'm like, I know that guy's straight and he's playing a gay part or what,
Right.
women. So maybe that's not true.
Yeah, it's unclear right now, I think.
Yeah, there might have been more of an issue with it. But like I don't know. I just felt I felt comfortable playing whatever.
Which is
like,
amazing.
I didn't have any judgment, any thought about it. And the characters are all different from one another too.
Right. Very much. Very, very, very different. I mean, I didn't realize. I guess I hadn't. At the time, I don't think I really would have categorized like, oh, that guy played a gay guy. Like, who cared? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you would want to be in Angels in America. Who wouldn't want to be in like one of the most brilliant and important, plays about something so important in our lives, right?
Oh, God. Yeah. And also I was in the second cast. I replaced Joe Mantello.
Right.
That second cast was amazing.
Absolutely.
F. Murray Abraham.
Oh, my God.
Replaced Ron Liebman, right? Stephen Spinella hung around for a while, which was
incredible.
Cynthia Nixon,
yes,
Marcia Gay Harden, like
unbelievable. I know.
And who replaced Ellen McLaughlin?
Who?
Cherry Jones.
Oh my God! Right, and Cherry's going to come on our show soon, and I can't wait.
Oh, okay, well there you go. Like
incredible, all of you.
I thought she was. I mean, I sort of idolized her already, and. She hadn't done, half the stuff that she's done by now. And remember, she came in after I came in. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene in the hospital where Ellen McLaughlin used to get a laugh on some line. And for Cherry Jones wasn't getting the laugh. Like, who cares? Whatever. She wasn't getting a laugh. And she like came to me backstage. She's like, why am I not getting a laugh on this line? And I thought, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, A, I'm not going to give you acting advice,
right?
But B, I have no idea. But that was an incredible cast. And the truth is, I had a huge crush on Cynthia at the time.
And Cynthia had a crush on you, which I found out later.
She did not.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't know. Because at the time she was with
Danny. I know. The other Dan. Right?
Another Danny.
But she and I discussed you, and I remember this.
Well,
yes, I do.
See any sign
because
of
there
it.
was a collective crush on you in our world.
Oh, that's very nice.
And so we just shared our like, oh, and this, and she'd be like, oh, and this. And the reason that I remember it is because she was still with Danny, the father of her children. And I thought of them at the time as like, invincible and an amazing couple. And I was kind of like, oh my God, you had a crush on Danny Futterman. Oh, like I was kind of like, seemed dangerous to me,
Well, she didn't betray any of it.
I mean, look, she's got a good cover going on. You know what I'm saying? She can really keep it close to the vest. But I mean, she really lobbied for you in terms of you being on the show, because at that point in time, and I have to clarify with her, she had a list of actors, really predominantly theater actors, right? Which she felt like, oh, they would be amazing on the show. And she would go in and pitch them like for Sarah's guys or my guys or her guys, obviously. And, it was always like just a really good kind of a, like reminder to our casting people and our producers that, we have this incredible group of actors that you might not think of.
This is really interesting because she has never been quiet about that kind of thing. I mean, I'm very honored that I was on her list, but when we were doing that play, she was going to leave after a certain period of time. She offered to do another play. I don't remember what it was. And I think with the story I heard is that she told George Wolfe, director, that if because Steven Spinella was going to leave by this point, that if he hired John Cameron Mitchell to replace Steven, she would stay.
Wow.
Wow is right. Yeah. And I don't know why. Like sometimes directors just have this thing about actors.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because John was so associated with Hedwig.
Hedwig, yes.
Right. The play.
That was
it had
the
just
time,
been,
right?
Yeah.
The time of Hedwig, yeah.
Right. It had just been downtown at Jane Street, you know, and he was, everybody who was in theater had seen that and just,
right.
And he just didn't want to do it. And so she left.
Oh my gosh. She really has always been very much a champion. And I think rightly so, because she's been in theater, her whole life. And I think she understands the kind of sometimes forgotten about, incredible riches that are there in terms of actors. And I think for our people, I think they did understand that. But at the same time, it always helped to remind, to like pitch like, hey, what about this person? Yeah. So when you came, the reason that it came up, and thank God you had already met Anya, because I would have just been like, but I had to behave myself, which is good, because then you can just put it in the work. You know what I'm saying? And when I see us on screen, one of the things that I think about, and it's hard to separate myself from Charlotte at this point, obviously, but I'm just so comfortable with you. Which is so nice.
We were good together. We were really, I felt the same way about those scenes. I was like, that is a really good, first of all, it's a great storyline. And Cindy is a great writer and really funny. But it's also, every one of the stories in that there's nothing that's in there that's just to be funny. They're all story. And they are an hour thing. And I think there was like a real comfort in our thing, and you were so kind of tortured about it and trying to figure it out and like bringing your friends in to try to figure this out and wanting it to work, but it just doesn't sit well with you. But it's I had a ball doing it, and I'm sad you guys aren't continuing, because I was going to use this opportunity to pitch myself to again.
That would have been amazing.
Where I, cater it or something. But
my God, fantastic opportunity missed.
My name is Ed. Everyone say hello, Ed. I'm from a very rural background myself. My dad is a farmer and my mum is a cousin. So it's not like...
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? I know it sounds like the start of a bad joke, but that really was my reality 9 years ago.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
On stage stood a comedian with a story that no one expected to hear.
On the 22nd of July 2015, a 23-year-old man had killed his family. And then he came to my house.
So what do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? A new podcast called Wisecrack, where stand-up comedy and murder take center stage. Available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I had this overwhelming sensation that I had to call her right then. And I just hit call. Said, hey, I'm Jacob Schick. I'm the CEO of One Tribe Foundation. And I just wanted to call and let her know there's a lot of people battling some of the very same things you're battling. And there is help out there.
The Good Stuff Podcast Season 2 takes a deep look into One Tribe Foundation, a nonprofit fighting suicide in the veteran community. September is National Suicide Prevention Month, so join hosts Jacob and Ashley Schick as they bring you to the front lines of One Tribe's mission.
I was married to a combat Army veteran, and he actually took his own life to suicide. One Tribe saved my life twice.
There's a lot of love that flows through this place, and it's sincere.
Now it's a personal mission. Don't want to have to go to any more funerals,
I got blown up on a react mission. I ended up having amputation below the knee of my right leg and a traumatic brain injury because I landed on my head.
Welcome to Season 2 of The Good Stuff.
Listen to The Good Stuff podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Gemma Spegg, host of The Psychology of Your 20s. Remember when you used to have Science Week at school? Well, if you loved that, how would you feel about a full psychology month? This September at The Psychology of Your 20s, we're breaking down the interesting ways psychology applies to real life, like how our pets actually change our brain chemistry, the psychology of office politics, whether happiness is even a real emotion, and my favorite episode, why do we all secretly crave external validation? It's so interesting to me that we are so quick to believe others' judgments of us and not our own. I found a study that said not being liked actually creates similar levels of pain as physical pain. Like, no wonder we care so much. So the secret is, if you want to be okay with not being liked, you have to know why your brain craves it in the first place. Learn more about the psychology of external validation, everyday life, and of course, your 20s this September. Listen to The Psychology of Your 20s on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Adventure should never come with a pause button.
Remember the MoviePass era, where you could watch all the movies you wanted for just $9? It made 0 sense, and I could not stop thinking about it. I'm Bridget Todd, host of the tech podcast There Are No Girls on the Internet. On this new season, I'm talking to the innovators who are left out of the tech headlines, like the visionary behind MoviePass, Black founder Stacy Spikes, who was pushed out of MoviePass, the company that he founded. His story is wild, and it's currently the subject of a juicy new HBO documentary. We dive into how culture connects us.
When you go to France, or you go to England, or you go to Hong Kong, those kids are wearing Jordans, they're wearing Kobe's shirt, they're watching Black Panther.
And the challenges of being a Black founder.
Close your eyes and tell me what a tech founder looks like. They're not going to describe someone who looks like me, and they're not going to describe someone who looks like you.
I created There Are No Girls on the Internet because the future belongs to all of us. So listen to There Are No Girls on the Internet on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, puzzlers. Let's start with a quick puzzle. The answer is Ken Jennings' appearance on The Puzzler with A.J. Jacobs. The question is, what is the most entertaining listening experience in podcast land? Jeopardy truthers who say that you were given all the answers believe in...
I guess they would be conspiracy theorists.
That's right. Are there Jeopardy truthers? Are there people who say that it was rigged?
Yeah, ever since I was first on, people are like, they gave you the answers, right? And then there's the other ones which are like, they gave you the answers and you still blew it.
Don't miss Jeopardy legend Ken Jennings on our special game show week of the Puzzler podcast. The Puzzler is the best place to get your daily word puzzle fix. Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The thing that's funny about it all, and you know, I feel comfortable talking to you about it, but it's been very, very weird. The whole trying to come back with this different but similar show, right? Like different show, which we were very clear about. It's a different show, you guys, same characters, which I really think I was naive about how weird that was for people. You know what I'm saying? For our fans, right? Like it's kind of asking a lot of fans, I guess. I guess I'm still trying to figure this out. But I did just this morning, Cynthia sent me a podcast from people on the New York Times. It's called Cannonball with Wesley Morris. And he has this incredible guest, Taffy Brodesser-Akner, who is a super fan of Sex and the City and Just Like That. And she was saying things that made me feel so much better and really gave me hope. Like at this point, I'm looking for any understanding of what we were trying to do. You know what I mean?
What did the podcast say?
The podcast said this incredible woman was on. I should find her name because I literally was listening to it in the car on the way here. It said that it might sound crazy what I'm going to say. She is, I believe she's in her early 50s or maybe 49. So she's slightly younger than us, but on the precipice, like middle age, right? She basically said it's a documentary of middle age. I know.
Wow.
I was like, I feel so seen. You know what I'm saying? I feel so seen. And she said one of the amazing things about it for herself, it was that she had watched it when she was younger. She had a lot of really profound and in-depth things to say about the first show and what it meant to women and how unusual it was to see 4 strong women, leading a show, which I think people forget about, right? That this was kind of unheard of, right?
Right.
And thank God we got to do it. And that she used it kind of as a model of like who she wanted to be and how she wanted to be. And this is a writer in New York. So of course it would be very much in her wheelhouse or whatever. And then she said that what the HBO Max app would do is when she would watch it just like that, when it was over, it would go into whatever episode of Sex and the City she had last been watching. So she would see our older selves and then it would bleed into our younger selves. And she said she might cry talking about it. And I might cry talking about it because it's so, it's like the kind of, profoundness of the time spent, and us being on camera, when we were so young, obviously, I mean, not that young, but compared to now young and like for us, it was this thing where we knew, okay, people are going to have a lot of thoughts and feelings about it, but we didn't really understand the depth of confusion and, or I guess, struggle about us aging and trying to talk about the things that you talk about and deal with in your 50s. It's like a lot. People have like some super strong feelings about it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what people's reaction was, but for you, I mean, I'm much more interested in your reaction to it. It's obviously emotional and meaningful. I mean, it's not only that you guys were playing these roles that meant a lot to people, still do, and a whole other generation of people, but you also, it's like a snapshot of your life where you're forming these in really important friendships with people.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, I was fairly early. It was second season, right? So in terms of the entirety of the show. So you guys are probably just becoming really close to one another.
Absolutely.
And seeing that and seeing yourselves and remembering all those feelings has got to, have a profound impact. I know just watching the show, I was very aware that was a very formative year for me, and all of that stuff kind of came up watching the
episode. You remember meeting Anya, your wife, and what you were doing?
Oh my God. I had met her. I don't remember when we filmed, sometime in the spring, I think.
Definitely. Yes. Cause it's towards the end of the second season and we would go back in February. So it was probably like the best part of the
June.
spring.
Yeah. Maybe May or June, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that previous, September, October, I had shot, I was a guest on Homicide, and that was what Anya was writing for.
Oh, I forgot this.
That's when that's when I met her, and I remember, and I had been engaged to somebody, and but I think we were both pretty unhappy. It just wasn't. Been together like 4.5 years and kind of like, what are we doing? Got engaged, not the right decision.
Interesting. I don't remember that.
Yeah. Lesson for all the younger people listening to this.
Yeah.
If it's been 4.5 years and you still don't know, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, right?
Good advice. Advice.
I had read the script that Anya had written. And then I remember very, very clearly walking out of my little cubby trail, like you get your guest, you get its tiny little cubicle.
Yes.
And walking out and being told, oh, that's the writer, and thinking, that's the person I should be engaged to.
Wow.
A little unfair. She's beautiful, but also she had written it straight through. It was like a little unfair. It wasn't just like I had read something that she had written that was meaningful to her. So I knew something about her, but I really did have that thought.
That's amazing. Yeah. We have an episode a couple times ago about love at first sight. And I say, yes, I have experienced love at first sight. It did not work out for me, which is the sad part, but I have experienced it and it was a great experience. But I love to hear that you experienced it and it worked out. And can I add that I lent my house to you guys? I feel like I'm invested, like I'm part of it.
Are you still in that same house or no?
No, I sold that house.
Okay, so you did an incredibly kind thing for me because I was going out to LA. I did not live there, and I was going to be on a regular on a show on Judging Amy with Amy.
Oh
Byrne.
yeah. I forgot that was the show. Oh my gosh, amazing.
And you really kindly said, I'm not going to be there in the spring. Do you want to stay there? Because you're probably shooting the new season.
Exactly, yeah.
And I said, that's really great. Yes, I would love to. And it was gorgeous, such a gorgeous house. And
thank you.
And then it was like, I didn't even tell you. Oh, by the way, Anya's going to be staying with
Well, you don't have to tell me.
Can I say who you were dating at the time?
Who is it? Whisper.
No, I'm not going to whisper it. I'll just. He's okay with. I actually just saw him at the homicide reunion, which I went.
Okay, then you can talk about it. Yes, if he's okay, then please talk about it.
He's great. I said to him, I think that was the last time I saw him. I think it might have been the last time I saw you.
Oh my God!
You remember what happened? You walked in the house with him, and you had left me a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to be home this weekend." And Anya and I were like. I think we were in bed. We were not like having sex in bed, but I think we were in bed.
I don't remember this. Oh my God.
And you were like, oh, you were so nice. Though I can't imagine what was going on inside. You're like, oh, no. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I didn't even think I had a cell phone at the time. So like, I didn't listen to my messages.
Oh, I love it.
You were so nice, and you were like, we're going to go stay in a hotel. It's totally fine. And you left with Reed Diamond. Reed Diamond is who it was.
I did date Reed Diamond. I do not remember walking in the house and you not knowing that I was coming. I remember that I said to you, go stay in my house, because also I had, like, for me, the success of the show, obviously unexpected. You never think these things are going to succeed. Right. You know how it is. And so I had bought this house, I feel like, after the pilot, before the show. And I remember going to the show and Sarah Jessica saying, like, are you crazy? And I was like, it's going great. Why shouldn't I buy this house? Like, weirdly, Pollyanna, right? Yeah. But it was a really special, like, I called it my tree house. It was like up in the canyon. And
amazing. It was
right. Amazing. Thank you so much. I loved it. Not everyone loved it. I had a terrible time selling it, but I did sell it eventually because I needed a bigger house for the kids. Right. Because it was kind of a tree house. It wasn't necessarily like a huge house. It was just special, I thought.
And big enough for the family in case, just if you're not worried about them falling off of the balcony.
100%. It was not the safest house for little children. I did have my one child there and I just policed her, like super. Sure, yeah. But then, yes, we got a bit more of a flatter house, not so far up. But I had guilt about that house, right? Like, it was so weird to own a house. I had never owned a house. So I was always feeling like, oh, does someone need a house? Like, please stay in my house if I liked you, obviously. Do you know what I mean? And for you guys, you didn't have to tell me anything about what you were doing as long as you weren't like, having the police called or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? And I remember thinking that Anya was so cool. Like, I was like, oh, thank God he's with an awesome woman since he's not with me. And I guess I was with Reed.
Like I felt like I pulled such a dick move and was like, sure.
Oh my God. You're a grown up. No, I just remember, like, for me, it made me so happy that you were staying there, right? Because I had my little secret crush on you. Apparently I was dating Reed, so I really shouldn't have been having a crush on you. I can never remember things linearly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And if there are a lot of them, then, it's very, very difficult.
A lot of boyfriends?
I don't know.
There aren't that many boyfriends because the schedule was such that it was really pretty much impossible to survive, which I don't know if Reed mentioned was like basically the problem with what happened there. I mean, I'm sure other problems. He's happily married now. Thank God. Good for him. But, we were dating into the third season, and the third season. Yeah. He hung in there for a while. And the third season, I remember the first week that we went back to work was 100-hour week.
Oh God. Yeah.
And here I'm dating at the time an unemployed actor. I mean, what hell must he have been in,
Yeah. And and both, I can never see you and stop complaining you're working.
Yes, exactly.
Because Homicide had just gotten canceled stupidly.
Yep.
That's why Anya was able to come out. Yeah.
Right. And it's so sad. That was like an incredible show in all the ways. I had forgotten all of that. Oh my God, I love it. And so they just had a Homicide reunion?
There was like a 30th reunion of when it started, maybe.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Love it. Homicide Life on the Street, you guys. Look it up.
Yeah, it was a really groundbreaking show. I mean, it was really like an HBO show, but it was on NBC.
Absolutely true.
And the cat. I mean, it was incredible. Yeah, Tom Fontana who is a creator of it. Just has kind of amassed this enormous family. He and Barry Levinson, and so I'm a part of it because of Anya. But
Nice.
I was in a one episode. So yeah, and that's where I saw Reed there, and it was really nice to see him and connect. And I apologized to him, and he said, "No, I don't care. As I never would have been able to stay in the Hermitage if I was."
Wow.
So
I can't remember. I can't remember any of this. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's funny because like when I'm rewatching, because I had never seen the episodes before, I've been rewatching for the podcast, and I have such vivid memories of some of it. And then some of it, like I didn't remember. I knew intellectually that there was something that went wrong with our relationship on screen, right? But mostly what I remember is that we were so excited to get you. And I remember talking to Cynthia about you. And then I remember this sex scene because I had so many fears and then ended up really enjoying it because you, of course, are a respectful and lovely co-star. And were very much, in it with me in a way where it was like easy. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard.
it was really comfortable. I mean, and I really I had no idea that you had talked through it with Pam, which is great. I say Pam as if I know her. She directed that. I thought she was terrific.
Me too.
And she made it really comfortable. It was kind of quick.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't remember all of the positions. I just was like,
I know.
One memory of it, and then I was like, "Oh my God, we must have filmed for a while."
I know, it was a lot.
Remember that, but I feel like she was like, "Here, sit up. And she got like one shot and said, "Okay, do this."
Yeah,
and it was really quick, and
she had it planned out.
Yeah, and you seemed really comfortable, which made me feel comfortable because it's I have, as a guy, you're supposed to feel comfortable. That's sort of what you're. But you seem totally fine. So that made
I'm so glad. I think that's because it was you and because she did really include me and because I did love the story. Like it was a very different type of story for Charlotte than compared to what she had been having. And I credit Cindy and the writing, with that as well. And then casting you, it was like one of my most, because in my mind, first season, second season, were kind of a wash in a weird way in terms of like storylines, because I think we were just trying to find ourselves in a lot of ways. When I look back now that I'm rewatching, a lot of the episodes are so incredibly good, so much better than what I remembered. But in my mind, this one was up at the tippy top in terms of enjoyment factor, in terms of like a beginning, middle, and an end of a storyline for Charlotte, which kind of took a while for those to get going.
I mean, look, I'm biased, but I think you had a great storyline. But all the storylines work, right?
Exactly.
It's not always the case in every show, right?
It's hard.
Don't, but I think all of them worked in this one.
Yeah.
And then because I'm lazy, I'm like, I watched it, and then it's like 10, 9, 8. The next one's going to start, and I'm like, I don't feel like reaching for the remote. Let's watch it, and the next one's good too. And it was interesting to see Sarah Jessica Parker do something totally different, which was and it reminds you like, oh, she's a really good actor. Because a lot of it's kind of light in the, but she was really fucking pissed at Mr. Big for, moving some, and she gets really angry.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
It's good.
And so it was kind of nice to see. Here, I'm curious about this actually.
Sure.
Not the one thing, but among the things I thought watching it was, there's, for instance, we're walking down the street. I think it's the first time you meet my character, right? We're walking down the street.
I have my glasses.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And the hailing cab, right? Hail the cab.
Oh, I know.
Right.
I know what you're going to say.
And there's a lot of silence. There's like, and the lines weren't written. And I'm curious if later on, I mean, I thought, I'm not going to I just can imagine what I was thinking. I'm not going to ad lib. This is a funny script. I'm not going to f it up. Like, there's a lot of it's one take because it's just us.
Which I love so much.
I'm not going to f this up. So I'm not going to ad lib because maybe they might not want it but it's a lot. There's a lot of gaping holes in it, even though it's edited to fit together.
Right.
You guys ad lib later on, or that just wasn't?
We were not allowed to ad lib because one time they let us, and then they just lost control.
Yeah. Yep. I bet. No. I bet.
And you know how tightly Michael Patrick writes, right? Like his comedy is very, like the rhythm is really kind of fast and it's very tight, right? At least the first show. And I think what happened when I watched it, I was also confused in that scene. First of all, I just love a oneer. I'm like, oh my God, the days of a oneer. Oh God, I love it so much. And we just kind of lost that somewhere along the way. And I think some of it was because we couldn't afford other things back then, right? But also just as an actor, the joy of walking down a New York City street in a oneer is just, so special. So I also, like, when I go to hail the cab and I'm supposedly showing my leg, which I absolutely do not do. Like, what on earth? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that's really funny and weird. I hate my legs, which I know. And I'm sure, Pat also was not always a fan of my legs. No, for real. Don't even get me started. But not so much. So I thought about that watching it because also there's a long silence there where you're like, what's happening?
Exactly.
I mean,
there are two cars coming in. Like I get, it's not part of the one shot anymore. There's coverage there because the cars have to come in.
Right. But it's weird. It's weird. This is what I think it is also. First of all, I think it's the oneer and trying to cut together. Right. But I also think because we still had the voiceover, there would have to be weird times and scenes where you weren't talking, but you're still acting because she's going to connect it with the voiceover. But what they did do, and I would have to ask Cindy specifically about this episode, they would sometimes change the voiceover later.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that could have been that there was supposed to be more voiceover, but then they changed it once they saw our performance.
That's interesting because there are kind of no lines after I kiss you.
Right.
And it's like total silence as if I'm waiting for a reaction and there's no conversation you get.
No. Right. It's odd, but it's also, I thought it was so great because I couldn't remember either. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But also you kiss me so well, like it's so good.
But it doesn't, it's sort of the end of it. And then it's like, okay, silence.
Definitely. And I don't say bye or anything.
Close the door.
But then they cut to me and I touch my glasses, which I'm pretty sure Pam told me to do because it doesn't even look like I really want to touch my glasses. It looks like I just want to stare at you. But I touch my glasses because someone told me to. But I think it was also, I would say, budget stuff, right? Because I think that Pam had this very visual plan. She had storyboards, I remember, and none of our directors had storyboards. That was a shock. Like, what?
It's well
oh my God.
Plotted. No, it's a really it's a well shot show.
Right. And I think for her, she was trying to get her visual plan in order and yet afford it, right?
Yeah.
Which is always a struggle, as you know. Is there anything else that you remember about the time and what did people say to you after the show?
Oh, I remember my friend Craig thought I had totally stolen his personality and that I was playing him.
That's funny.
I was like, hey, Craig, I have a lot of gay friends, but also, no, I'm just playing the part. But he, to this day, feels like I was. And this is a sort of, I get recognized from this part.
See, sometimes. You do look the same.
That's
See?
Funny.
I love that.
It does become more and more of a compliment if I get recognized.
Nice.
And because I don't act anymore, so I don't.
So wait, you don't act at all?
I mean, I would act in something maybe if it came up, but I wouldn't go to Queens and audition for it.
Got it.
And I don't know that I feel totally. I'm not sure if I would feel totally comfortable. I would see. Maybe I would. I haven't done it in a while.
My name is Ed. Everyone say hello, Ed. Hello, Ed. from a very rural background myself. My dad is a farmer and my mum is a cousin, so like it's not like...
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? I know it sounds like the start of a bad joke, but that really was my reality 9 years ago.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
On stage stood a comedian with a story that no one expected to hear.
On the 22nd of July 2015, a 23-year-old man had killed his family. And then he came to my house.
So what do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? A new podcast called Wisecrack, where stand-up comedy and murder take center stage. Available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I had this overwhelming sensation that I had to call her right then. And I just hit call. Said, hey, I'm Jacob Schick. I'm the CEO of One Tribe Foundation. And I just wanted to call on and let her know there's a lot of people battling some of the very same things you're battling. And there is help out there.
The Good Stuff Podcast Season 2 takes a deep look into One Tribe Foundation, a nonprofit fighting suicide in the veteran community. September is National Suicide Prevention Month, so join hosts Jacob and Ashley Schick as they bring you to the front lines of One Tribe's mission.
I was married to a combat Army veteran, and he actually took his own life to suicide. One Tribe saved my life twice.
There's a lot of love that flows through this place, and it's sincere.
Now it's a personal mission. Don't want to have to go to any more funerals,
I got blown up on a react mission. I ended up having amputation below the knee of my right leg and a traumatic brain injury because I landed on my head.
Welcome to Season 2 of The Good Stuff.
Listen to The Good Stuff podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Gemma Spegg, host of The Psychology of Your 20s. Remember when you used to have science week at school? Well, if you loved that, how would you feel about a full psychology month? This September at The Psychology of Your 20s, we're breaking down the interesting ways psychology applies to real life, like how our pets actually change our brain chemistry, the psychology of office politics, whether happiness is even a real emotion, and my favorite episode, why do we all secretly crave external validation? It's so interesting to me that we are so quick to believe others' judgments of us and not our own. I found a study that said not being liked actually creates similar levels of pain as physical pain. No wonder we care so much. So the secret is, if you want to be okay with not being liked, you have to know why your brain craves it in the first place. Learn more about the psychology of external validation, everyday life, and of course your 20s this September. Listen to The Psychology of Your 20s on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, puzzlers. Let's start with a quick puzzle. The answer is Ken Jennings' appearance on The Puzzler with A.J. Jacobs. The question is, what is the most entertaining listening experience in podcast land? Jeopardy truthers who say that you were given all the answers believe in...
I guess they would be conspiracy theorists.
That's right. Are there Jeopardy truthers? Are there people who say that it was rigged?
Yeah, ever since I was first on, people are like, they gave you the answers, right? And then there's the other ones which are like, they gave you the answers and you still blew it.
Don't miss Jeopardy legend Ken Jennings on our special game show week of the Puzzler podcast. The Puzzler is the best place to get your daily word puzzle fix. Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wished for a change but weren't sure how to make it? Maybe you felt stuck in a job, a place, or even a relationship. I'm Emily Tish Sussman, and on She Pivots, I dive into the inspiring pivots of women who have taken big leaps in their lives and careers.
I'm Gretchen Whitmer, Jodie Sweetin, Annika Patton, Elaine Welteroth. I'm Jessica Voss.
And that's when I was like, I gotta go. I don't know how, but that kicked off the pivot of how to make the transition.
Learn how to get comfortable pivoting because your life is going to be full of them.
Every episode gets real about the why behind these changes and gives you the inspiration and maybe the push to make your next pivot. Listen to these women and more on She Pivots, now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So you're just writing and like show running and or producing and or directing.
Not directing.
Not directing. Okay. So you're producing, creating, writing.
Yeah. Sometimes with
Amazing.
Anya, sometimes on my own. I'm doing something now with another friend of mine. So yeah. So if I get recognized, it's from a while ago, and I definitely take it as a compliment now.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's 25 years ago or more.
It's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I try to, there are times when, because it doesn't happen very often because it is so long ago, but there are a few things that I might get recognized from. And if I do, I try to guess what it is. I'm like in my mind trying to guess what it is.
Yeah. The birdcage.
Right. Yeah. That's because that's in a way that this has too. That's like, that is still something that I thought that would not have aged well.
Yeah.
If I could have predicted 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Would this, given sort of changing cultural environment, would that have aged poorly? I would think yes, but not at all.
Interesting.
Not at all.
I love it.
And same with the first Sex and the City. I mean, I don't think that has aged very well.
Better than one would have thought.
When I got asked, my agent just sent me an email. They asked if you want to do this. Do you want to do it? And at first I was like a little nervous about it. I was like, should I do this? I'm not sure. And I mentioned it. My daughters who are 25 and 19, 24 and 19.
Oh my God. Wow.
I said, they happened to be around and I was like, should I do this? And they were like, absolutely, you have to do this.
Yay!
Because they are fans of the show.
Oh,
this has, it really has
amazing.
Continued in a way that you would think these things would not.
I mean, yeah, no, it's incredible. And we feel so just incredibly grateful and lucky. It's just luck really that we happen to be there at the right time and get the chance to do what we wanted to do, and that it connected, because you never know if anything is going to connect.
It's true. And that you continue to have these great writers that stayed with the show.
Absolutely. That's a hard thing in our business.
Yes, it is. People leave other things. And what I guess, I'm not sure how long Cindy Schubeck stuck around. Was she there for
I think she stayed till the end. Yeah. I mean,
That's
both
amazing.
Cindy and Jenny got big deals to go off and do their own thing. But I feel, and I'd have to double check if she was there to the bitter end, you know what I'm saying? But definitely the final season she was there.
Yeah.
And then they went off and did their own things. But I mean, we still see them, which is just such a joy.
Yeah, no, that's really me. Really helps the show stay together. And then, all you guys wanted to continue to do it. I'm sure there were conversations at some point. Should we keep doing it? Should we not? They probably had some of you for 5 years or something. And then
they had me for 7. I don't ever like to talk about anyone else. I had a standard pilot deal, right? And I would have kept going. But because Sarah and Sin had both had babies towards right before the final season, I think Sarah Jessica, especially Cynthia, is so oh yeah, I have a baby, it's fine. She's very I can do anything. But I think Sarah, because it was her first, really felt, the need to be there and, the struggle of am I a good enough mom if I'm at work? It's a hard thing, obviously, to navigate. And so she, I think also very similar to now and just like that, Michael and Sarah are very much a partnership. They work very well together, very closely together. They respect each other creatively. And at the time, I feel like both of them felt when the first show ended, Sex and the City, so that would have been 2004, they felt like it's so hard to make a weekly show and keep it good.
Yeah.
And the rest of us were like, what? Don't end. I just remember panic, just absolute panic. But I do think, you've made shows yourselves. It's grueling for the writers.
It can be. I've only written, shorter shows. Mm-hmm. You guys were doing, I didn't realize the second season was 18 episodes.
I know. I think the third season might be 21 or something. Or it was a lot.
I've never done something like that. It was more like 10.
Right. Well, that's how it is nowadays. 10 is normal or whatever.
Right. That's very, very different.
So you plan in advance, you write in advance.
Most of it's written in advance. Well, at least the things that I've done tend to have been. So, because that ends up being less expensive, because you can plan it all out and what are you shooting together? All this.
Yeah.
But it's, you guys hit something. I guess it's lucky. I guess it's just, you guys are all so talented and you worked well together and you had great writing and you got a bunch of great directors who kept coming back, right?
Yeah, so important.
Yeah.
So important.
I assume your crew hung around because...
Oh, yeah. You know what? Also, I'm so silly. Like, I don't know, lately, I think because I didn't realize that we were going to end and just like that. So I'm still processing and like so Pollyanna that I thought we would just keep going. But like when we came back, I thought we would have the same crew. But we couldn't. Couldn't get the same crew because they had all moved on to bigger things.
Or retired.
Or retired. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. I mean, we did get some, like we got our set people back but like Jeremy, who had been our, I guess he was like our overall designer of everything. He went on to do the Olympics. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like insane things. And then I saw some behind the scenes pictures the other day and our focus puller, Joe Collins, is now like a big deal DP, like huge or director, you know what I'm saying? Like he should be, right? So I'm thrilled for them. But I remember when we got to it just like that, I was like, these people are all so young. Oh my gosh. But that's how it should be, right? Like new people coming up and they were incredible on their own. So, but I remember just like, wait, where are the other people?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably you're looking for that sense of security too.
Yeah. And in my mind, it would, because we were the same, right? With some new additions, obviously, but we were together. And so I just kind of in my mind assumed that the larger picture would be the same, but the world has changed. I mean, it was such a different environment to go back to work. And that was when we went back to work, it was just right after COVID. So it was really, early days, like the masks and all the stuff, you know what I mean? It was crazy.
Right. Yeah. That was a bummer. How did you feel integrating the new characters into the show?
I loved it. I loved it so much because they are just incredible people and incredible characters, and it made it exciting for us. I mean, I guess apparently that was part of what people didn't like. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm trying to figure out people because it's confusing.
Try to figure it out.
I know. Can I tell you my issue? My issue, I used to really try to protect myself from, media and critics and whatever. But because of the podcast, I'm more kind of in it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I look at more stuff. My phone knows that I'm always talking about Sex and the City, so it's always showing me stuff annoyingly. So it's just I'm more in the world of it all than I used to be. I used to just feel like I know what it is inside me. You know what I'm saying? I know what I wanted to do. I know what we did. I know what we meant to do, and I still do feel that, especially with And Just Like That. Like I know what we were making. I don't know what people were necessarily seeing when they watched it, but I think like that's how our business is, right? People are projecting all kind of things of their own and their own expectations and or desires and or disappointments or whatever it is. They have such strong feelings. And so when I can be calm about it, I know that that's a compliment, right?
Well, for you guys, people feel so personally about you guys too, but you have that. I mean, in the various shows that I've done, you get praise. That's great. You get slammed. That sucks, but you have no control over it. And it's not as if you tried harder or less hard with either one or put less of yourself into the ones that just don't click.
Right.
It's just part of the territory, but it's painful.
It can be really painful, yeah. And it's just been, my biggest thing is that it's been very confusing. I'm still confused, and I do not like to be confused. I like to understand things, right? So I am somewhat trying to seek some understanding, and I am getting some. I'm getting some. Cynthia sent me something really helpful today. Cynthia's always there for me, trying to, talk calmly and practically to me, which is a great thing because I'm often kind of up in my, like fantasy world somewhat.
You're also so deeply in it doing this podcast too. So it's, and you're revisiting it with, me and somebody else next week. And so that's hard. It's hard to escape.
It is hard to
Everybody
escape.
says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you guys aren't on anymore." And
right.
so,
No, but that's nice. That's nice because you're in it and you understand what it's like. I mean, it's better than people going like onward and upward. I'm like, no. I'm not there yet. People, this just happened and I didn't know it was happening. So give me a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do love looking back at it though, because I hadn't looked at it. And I'm just so, it's kind of amazing. I'm just like amazed by it. Because I mean, people will talk to me obviously about it all the time. And like your daughters, like when it came on Netflix and the younger people started watching, I was like, this is amazing. That's why I wanted to do the podcast.
Yep.
And then the joy of the podcast is getting to talk to people like you and Cindy and also new people who are fans of the show. Like it's fascinating. It's my kind of thing, right? Like to investigate and talk about our memories and also like how the world has changed or not changed. So I do love that part. It's just sometimes hard to incorporate everybody's thoughts and feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, and making the transition from just celebrating, and isn't it incredible we're continuing to, you're mourning it a little bit right now while you're celebrating.
For sure. Danny, let me tell you, it was like suddenly walking into your own funeral when you didn't know it was coming. I mean, it was like we died. At a certain point, I had to be like, okay, I got to stop. I got to put my phone down. My phone is currently ruined for me. I cannot look at Instagram. I cannot see any more pictures of our young selves and the odes. You know, they're lovely odes to the death of our characters, but they didn't die. And I'm here and I'm fine. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but sad. Like that's okay.
It is sad. It is sad, but I'm not dead. This is, where I'm at right now.
Of course.
And you know what the joy is? Sarah and Cynthia and I had dinner, I think last week in New York, and all the time, ever since we started 1997 or whatever it was, we sometimes were working and sometimes we weren't, but we're always in each other's lives.
Yeah.
So I need to just like, no one's leaving my life. That's our on-screen life. That's right. Not our real life, right? That's important. But yeah, I mean, I am, as you know, anytime a job ends, you're kind of mourning it in a way, right? Yep. But this is like our lifelong job. And in reality, it's hard to really believe that it will end because, again, I'm going to see them all and we're all going to, do stuff, I'm sure, whatever.
And play other roles, right?
Right. I mean, that hasn't happened yet, but I really look forward to it. You know what I mean?
And yes. And I was curious to ask you this.
Tell me.
Obviously, it's an incredible blessing to have this and have it last for so long. I also would imagine that you and others have felt like, there were opportunities you didn't get to do because people associated you quite closely with these roles.
I mean, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what they are. You know what I mean? I don't even think they come to you, right? Like they just, you're kind of like your energy in the business is kind of sucked up by this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know what? It's like, what are you going to do about that? There's really nothing to do.
There's nothing you can do about it. But I think what I'm saying is that maybe you'll be sprung from that a little bit.
I mean, let's hope so, because God knows we have a very big profile.
Yeah.
let's put that to use for something else. You know what I mean? Because no one can stop talking about us, which is interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But you got a lot of years of acting.
I hope so, because I love it.
Yes.
And
so, just it brings new opportunities as well.
I mean, yeah, I'm slightly getting there, I think also because we started working on, and just like that right after COVID, right? So it had been like a year plus of like no one being able to do anything, which made it even more exciting to get to go back to these much loved characters that we get to do together, right? But it is hard to remember back before when like you'd get this job, you'd get that job. You know what I mean? Like that kind of, it's almost like a journeyman thinking, like I look forward to that. I'm ready for that. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, sometimes they send you things to develop and I'm like, I will try to develop things, but we all know that's very hard.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Very hard, as you know. But yeah, it's all, our business is crazy, as you know, and we're just lucky to still be in it.
Yep.
Danny, you're incredible.
You're incredible yourself.
Oh, I'm so glad that you could come on. Thank you for the actor pep talk. I needed it.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it. You deserve
Thanks.
everything good that's coming to you in the future.
Thank you, Danny. You too. Tell Anya hi.
I will.
And tell your daughters thank you, because I really, really wanted you to come on.
I will.
Made me very happy. Thank you. Nice to see you over Zoom.
Good to see you too.
Mwah.
I just normally do straight stand-up, but this is a bit different.
What do you get when a true crime producer walks into a comedy club? Answer: a new podcast called Wisecrack, where a comedian finds himself at the center of a chilling true crime story.
Does anyone know what show they've come to see? It's a story. It's about the scariest night of my life.
This is Wisecrack, available now. Listen to Wisecrack on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Every case that is a cold case that has DNA right now in a backlog will be identified in our lifetime.
On the new podcast, America's Crime Lab, every case has a story to tell, and the DNA holds the truth.
He never thought he was going to get caught. And I just looked at my computer screen. I was just like, gotcha.
This technology is already solving so many cases.
Listen to America's Crime Lab on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jenica Lopez, and in the new season of the Overcomfort podcast, I'm even more honest, more vulnerable, and more real than ever.
Am I ready to enter this new part of my life? Like, am I ready to be in a relationship? Am I ready to have kids and to really just devote myself and my time?
Join me for conversations about healing and growth, all from one of my favorite spaces, the kitchen. Listen to the new season of the Overcomfort podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast.
I'm Dr. Scott Barry Kaufman, host of the Psychology Podcast. Here's a clip from an upcoming conversation about how to be a better you.
When you think about emotion regulation, you're not going to choose an adaptive strategy which is more effortful to use unless you think there's a good outcome. Avoidance is easier, ignoring is easier, denial is easier, complex problem solving takes effort.
Listen to the Psychology Podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I just think the process and the journey is so delicious. That's where all the good stuff is. Mm-hmm. You just can't live and die by the end result.
That's comedian Phoebe Robinson. And yeah, those are the kinds of gems you'll only hear on my podcast, The Bright Side. I'm your host, Simone Boyce. I'm talking to the brightest minds in entertainment, health, wellness, and pop culture. And every week, we're going places in our communities, our careers, and ourselves. So join me every Monday and let's find the bright side together. Listen to The Bright Side on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast.